Appreciate you sticking around. As always, appreciate all the coverage. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate all the articles you write. Appreciate all your opinions because you're covering our program. That means a lot. And that means a lot for recruiting. That means a lot for our student athletes. They've got to learn to handle all that. And I give them all the time, just to compliment all of you real fast before you fire them at me, is that this trains people for the National Football League. You want to be ready for media in the National Football League? That's part of development and growth. You come to University of Minnesota. You will prepare them for that. And that's a compliment to all of you. So with that said, fire away.
Coach, what did Michigan State do in the running game that held you guys down for a while?
They did what Michigan State does. They ran the ball. And they had a ton of success on the toss play. We do everything we can to overload and be on that side. And then they come back with their power O scheme backside, or they come back out with a zone play backside. And you got to give them credit. That's what they do well. I didn't think we held the point very well, and we didn't contain. We've got to have guys in the secondary come down, fly down, contain, sacrifice their bodies. And some guys are put in a position where they haven't done that just yet. So we'll get there. Yes, Sid, you're up.
Nobody knows when you stop. See? I'm kidding you. Michigan State made a lot of yards, but 5 times they had to kick a field goal.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the one thing I'll say. I thought it was a tale of two halves split on offense and defense. I thought offensively really struggled in the first half. Defensively, I thought we played pretty well. Held them to some field goals, like Sid said. Anytime you can keep field goals and minimize touchdowns, you're doing something right. On the second half, I thought we played way better on offense than we did on defense. Special teams, I thought we were just too inconsistent on the kickoff. And it came down just to a few things. It came down to contain on offense, defense. It came down to contain, keep things inside, force it back into the middle. And then I thought our tackling was pretty poor at times. So, but anytime you can hold them to field goals, that's a win for the defense. I look at that as always wins. I mean, the great thing about it, you can be in the red zone 5 times, kick 5 field goals, and still only be down 2 possessions. I mean, that's what you want to continue to create, right? And I thought our defense did a tremendous job of that. We got some takeaways too, but we had to make more plays on offense. I'll be honest with you. I always keep track of just how the game's going and the flow. And when we talk about what had happened in the first half offensively, first and goal at the 4-yard line, right after the punt. We need a touchdown. We can't kick field goals against the number 21 team in the country. We dropped the snap, right? And now all of a sudden, now the whole playbook changes, right? The whole playbook changes, all right? So then we got to settle for a field goal. We run a zoom motion and we turn to hand it off. We're not supposed to hand that off. And there's a little bit of a brain disconnect at one point. Can't have those, right? And I've got to coach way better. But that ball's not supposed to be handed off at all. And we fumble that, right? And now it's 10-3, we're down, right, to the number 21 team in the country. A low snap, and we take a knee. Now it's a 2nd and 5. It turns into 3rd and 12. All right, 2nd and 5 for our offense is way more manageable, right, in terms of 3rd and 12. We forget the motion on one of our plays, which we've got to know. It's just a 3-by-1 formation, simple formation. And we run the play out of 2-by-2, which we can't run the play out of 2-by-2. We still need our motion to come across, and we forget to do that. And then Demery comes up, throws the interception. So again, it was Demery coming in. Our staff met yesterday and talked a little bit about possibly playing Demery a little bit anyway, about getting him starting to get involved a little bit more as we continue to go forward. Because again, same situation. If you lose Connor, at some point you had to be able to play Demery, so we did that. This was not a knee-jerk reaction because, again, what was the spark? The spark, we threw an interception when he came in. But, again, I had to make a decision in the second half, and I felt like with his legs, I thought we could be able to create more. And but, again, like I said, I hope he's learned a very, very valuable lesson. I'll decide that later on, Chip. That's a great question. That's something that I'll talk to you about it later, I'm sure, in the week, and I'm sure I'll have a decision made. But it's something I have to think about as a head football coach. I got to do what's best to give those guys in that locker room a chance to win. And, and nobody wants to hear this, and I don't even know if I'm really accurate. We're about 3 minutes and 45 seconds from being 6-0. We're not. We're 3-3. I mean, that's the dumbest statement ever, right? I mean, it really is. But at the end of the day, we finished on one side of the ball but didn't finish on the other side. So, again, we're making progress. We're getting better. It's just as we're getting better, we're losing the people that are getting better, and then we're filling them in with people who haven't gotten better yet or haven't even played yet. Raise your hand if you thought Mark Williams would catch a lot of balls this year. Heather, put your hand down. Right. Okay, Mark Williams is going to be a go-to guy, and I thought he made some great catches tonight. Right? Look at Ty. Ty's getting better. Right? Ty's becoming learning what it means to become a go-to guy. And you don't become a go-to guy after one game. You become a go-to guy after you do it over and over and make big plays in really pressure situations. I thought he did that. So we'll continue to expand on that and continue to go. Kunle, on the defensive side of the ball, he's had to step up in a huge role. Former walk-on, being the guy that's a starter right now. We're in the position we're in, but I give them a lot of credit because of how hard they're fighting. Well, I think here's the one thing. It's practicing and being back practicing and playing in a game, two different things. I thought there were times it was like, there's Duke. Then there was times like, oh, man, he's really rusty. And we got to knock the rust off a little bit more in practice, right? He's got to get back in the swing of things. It's so hard, okay? It is so hard to be in football shape, to get into a game shape, to be able to get in that rhythm. But it takes one day to be out of it. Just like as you work out, it takes so long to be bigger, faster, stronger, be conditioned to run a marathon. If you sit on your butt for 3 days, next thing you know, you're not going to be able to run that marathon anymore. It's so hard to gain, so easy, and so fast to lose. So we got to get that back on. But like I told you before, I will not budge. I am not budging. If you don't do the right things, you won't play. And I told you I'm never going to sacrifice doing the right thing for wins, ever. And I hope all those guys learn valuable lessons, though. That's what I'm here to do, especially in year zero. That's what we're teaching. And, like I said, the one thing I told them in the locker room was, we got to draw a line in the sand here and go back to 0-0 because I showed what they showed what they could become as this unit as we move forward. Brandon Lingen goes down. Here comes another freshman. Right? Here comes Kokeft, and he's fired up, ready to go. Right? But next guy in. But the next guys in, they're all freshmen. And that's not an excuse. It is what it is. And I can't wait to coach them. And I can't wait to get them better. And that's what we're going to do.
Coach, have you seen a big change in Croft since the suspension after that second game?
Yeah, I have. I would say that I've seen a difference. I think it's been too early to say you've seen a big difference because, trust is built over a very long period of time. It's not built on just okay, I won't do that. Right? Trust is very hard to gain, okay, and very easy to lose, right? And so that's going to be a process as we continue to go forward because it's not just that. It's not just the fear of something happening again. It's the investment. Every snap we take in practice is so precious. So who's going to get that? Who can we trust? Who's going to be reliable to get that part done that we can run our offense efficiently? But I thought he showed what he could do. I mean, you guys watched the game. He showed what he could do. He can create. He can take a broken play and get out of there. He can make the throws. But again, doing the right things, academically, athletically, socially, and spiritually. I will never budge from that.
What did you see out
Let
of
me
him?
ask you
What
this.
sort of playmaking?
Don't you
Go ahead. Hold on 1 second. Said Andy, go ahead.
What kind of creativity or playmaking did you see with Demery that maybe was a little bit different from what Connor was able to provide?
Well, a lot of them the same plays. It's just he was able to step up in the pocket, boom, take off, create, throw on the run. So I thought he did a really good job of that. Same type of plays. I mean, the one thing we wanted to be able to run the ball, we got behind pretty early. And if you want to sit there and make this remember, Mark D'Antonio and I come from the same guy. His name's Jim Tressel. And when Tressel ball's happening to you, that's no fun. I like to do Tressel ball to somebody else. That's no fun when Tressel ball's being done to you. And that's exactly what he did, right? And we can't allow, right, that to happen. But when you get behind the 8 ball and now you have to start catching up, in the second half, we had to throw the ball a little bit more. But we know our playmakers. We know who we have with Rodney and Shannon and Six and Mark Williams coming along. Remember, this is an involvement of players that haven't had a chance to do that before. So it's a learning process for them too. But again, this is all 100% my fault. All falls on my shoulders. I've got to lead better. I got to coach better. I got to develop better. I've got to get them to play at a higher level, more consistent. I've got to get our coaches to even coach at a higher level. We got to get more out of our players. I got to get more out of our coaches. I got to get more out of everybody. That falls on me, everything. Sid, go ahead.
Let me ask you this. First of all, I'm happy for you. Second of all, you got to have more hope with something like this developed. Got to have more hope for the rest of the season.
Well, I appreciate that. It makes two of you, Heather and you. I appreciate that. But I don't. I'm not into necessarily just showing hope in showing it. But what I saw out there in the last 10 minutes was a team I couldn't wait to see. I couldn't wait to see that. I couldn't wait. And it comes at different stages. But that was different than even our first 3 games, that last 10 minutes. That was different. Right? We were throwing the ball. We were running the ball. We were creating on the run. We were moving the football. Guys were making plays, running really good routes. They were all playing for each other. But again, they're all learning how to be the man together because they haven't done that yet. But that, I was really proud of that. And again, I'm one of the most positive people in the world, and I'll continue to be positive because I see a ton of fight and hope, and I see that. And I'm not into necessarily the hope part of, I see it. I see the hope out there. They earn that.
One or two more. Coach, with the offensive line injuries, Sam Schluter was kind of put in a role more extended than he's used to. Just how do you think he did out there, and what are you kind of expecting to see from him going forward?
You know, I will say, how many sacks we had? I think we had 1 sack. Is that correct? Is there 2 sacks or 1 sack? 2 sacks. We'd only given up 1 sack all year before this game, I think, right? That's 3 sacks on the year in 6 games. I mean, we are a revolving door right now at offensive line. Okay, there's decisions I have to make of breaking red shirts. There's decisions I have to hold on to red shirts. That's a balancing act that, you know, I have to make those decisions. But Sam Schluter's a guy that's a freshman coming in there, probably playing before he's really ready to play. But this is valuable experience. He's going to be the future. So might as well get him in there now, right? But again, my job is to make sure I give every opportunity for our seniors and our upperclassmen to win every one of the games in 2017. But still have this vision of down the road of exactly what this program will become. Not what I hope it becomes, of exactly what it will become. Because the vision is so incredibly clear to me. Maybe not a lot of people. It's so incredibly clear to me because I've been through it. And I know exactly what it looks like, what it smells like, what it talks like, what it walks like, what it thinks like, what it acts like. I know all of that. And been through it before, and it looks just like what it's looking like. But I'm very, very proud of a guy like him. How about Quinn? How about Quinn Olson coming in? Right guard. There's Quinn Olson. He hasn't played yet. Step right in, Quinn. Come on in. You know, join the team. And I thought he held his own. Right? And then you got the freshman at center. So again, we could talk all day about what is and what isn't, and why this and why that. Those are all excuses. It all falls on me. It's my challenge to get that team in that locker room to be at their very best next Saturday, and that's what we're going to do.
Coach, how taxing was it on in that third quarter on the Gophers defense, being out there for so long?
I mean, you saw it. You know, and when you can't sub a lot at all those positions, especially in the secondary where they're setting edges, especially at the linebacker position. Remember, we took a lot of our linebacker depth and moved them to D-line. Right, so, but being able to have those guys even up front, 2 of our best players are interior guys, but they have to play the entire game because we can't rotate them as much. And, but again, like I said, that all falls in the category of that's the responsibility of me of continuing to build depth into the future of the 18 and 19 class. And I'm very excited about that. But again, it's right now that matters. I mean, it's right now that matters. Of what we're going to do to be a better football team right now, right, or next Saturday than we are right now. And that's the challenge we have. And that's the only thing we're going to focus on. We're going to take one day at a time. We're going to get better. We're going to continue to grow. And we're going to grow at the pace we need to grow. We're not going to sacrifice anything. This isn't a Band-Aid. We're not going to put a Band-Aid in and bring in all these people and all these transfers and all these things to fix. We are going to do it the right way. We're going to do the right things on and off the field. Right? And if you don't, there will be consequences. And we're going to continue to inspire people. We're going to continue to play our tail ends off, and we're going to continue to do the culture in the right way as we continue to move forward. And again, we got an opponent next week with Illinois coming in here, and we look forward to it. But you got to give Mark D'Antonio and Michigan State a lot of credit. The reason why they're ranked 21st in the country is what you saw. And, you know, we just came up a little bit short again, and we ran out of time. You got to give them all the credit in the world. They beat us, but I would have loved to see if there was a few extra minutes on that clock, what would have happened. But there's not. There's 60 minutes. We got to learn from that. We got to play within that and, you know, win the game inside that. But a lot to grow from, a lot of positive to take from this game, and a lot of things that we can learn that we can't do again. Row the boat, Sky Ma. Go Gophers. Thank you.